And now onto our dinosaur of the day, Kwanasaurus, which was a request from Paul B via our Patreon and Discord, so thanks. Kwanasaurus, as I mentioned earlier, was a Silesaur that lived in the Late Triassic in what is now Colorado in the US. It was found in the Eagle Basin of the Chinle Formation. The reconstruction of Kwanasaurus, to me, looks similar to Silesaurs. It could just be that Silesaurs in general all kind of look like Silesaurs, at least to me. It walked on all fours. It had a long tail, a somewhat long neck, a long head, claws on the feet. It was also reconstructed with a skin flap under the chin, but I couldn't find out much about that.
Interesting.
And it had a beak. It's estimated to be about the size of a medium-sized dog, about 4 to 5 feet long or 1.2 to 1.5 meters long, and half the length is the tail. So it had a long tail.
So that one's bigger than the Silesaur we were talking about earlier that was only about 1 meter long.
Yes.
Gondwanax.
But it lived later, so Gondwanax can still be the king of its time.
Okay.
The type species is Kwanasaurus williamparkeri. It was found in an area known for late Triassic dinosaur fossils and other reptiles. And Silesaurids are the most abundant dinosauromorphs in the Eagle Basin. The holotype includes a partial upper jaw, and some other fossils found include multiple lower jaws, teeth, parts of the hips, thigh bones, and an arm bone. It took 20 years to collect these fossils because they were really fragile and it was hard to excavate. And Kwanasaurus is the northernmost, youngest Silesaurid found in North America. There are a lot of femora found, the thigh bones, which could represent a range of sizes and ontogenetic changes, or a growth series. Kwanasaurus was named in 2019 by Jeffrey Martz and Brian Small, and I checked, we did not cover it in our news, probably because we weren't considering Silesaurs as dinosaurs at the time.
Yep.
So the genus name Kwanasaurus comes from the Ute dialect. It means eagle. It refers to the fossils being found at Eagle Basin, near the towns Eagle and Gypsum. And the species name williamparkeri is in honor of the author's friend and colleague, Bill Parker, quote, whose research has helped to greatly clarify our understanding of late Triassic dinosauromorph diversity in the western United States. So that's nice.
I didn't even realize that there were a bunch of late Triassic dinosauromorphs, including Silesaurs, in the United States.
Yes.
When I think of Silesaurs, I'm thinking of South America usually.
Yeah, well, now we're talking about Kwanasaurus from Colorado. Now, Kwanasaurus is a pretty important Silesaur, I think, because it shows some specialization in being an herbivore, a plant eater. It was more specialized than other Silesaurids.
That is the other really interesting thing about Silesaurids. We always think of Triassic dinosaurs as being exclusively carnivorous or maybe omnivorous, but Silesaurs, a lot of them seem to be herbivorous.
Yes.
And if they were in fact dinosaurs, that puts a whole monkey wrench into the idea that the first dinosaurs were all carnivorous, because Silesaurs might actually be some of the first dinosaurs.
Yes. Well, it's interesting because Kwanasaurus, the front of the upper jaw is similar to Luisuchus and Silesaurus. Luisuchus was a basal Silesaur. It lived in the late Triassic that was found in Argentina. It had osteoderms on its back. It was named in 1972. And it had teeth that may mean that it ate meat. It had these pointed serrated teeth and also slender jaws. But then you've got more derived Silesaurs like Silesaurus that had these almost conical teeth that weren't that serrated, and they had a toothless beak. And based on wear patterns on the teeth, they may have been herbivorous or omnivorous or ate insects. And Silesaurs were widely distributed in the late Triassic in both wet and dry climates all over the world.
Huh.
Now, based on Silesaur teeth, it could be they were partly successful because of their ability to adapt to eat different foods. But then over time, they seem to get more and more herbivorous, like you were saying, Garrett, which
interesting.
Kind of throws a wrench into things.
Yeah, but them getting more herbivorous over time actually does match okay with the idea that the first ones were carnivores.
And we see this too, this getting more and more herbivorous with the sauropodomorphs in the late Triassic. So there's this convergent evolution happening.
Yeah, I guess we just need more time to see what the very earliest Silesaurs looked like in terms of their teeth and what they might have been eating.
Yeah. Well, Kwanasaurus had, quote, the most extreme adaptations for folivory yet known within Silesauridae. So most extreme for being an herbivore.
Or I think folivory is specifically like foliage, like leaves.
Plant eaters.
Well, there's lots of different types of plants you can eat.
True.
Parts of plants.
Well, where Kwanasaurus had a deeper, stronger skull, it had leaf-shaped teeth as well as thick, almost durophagous teeth, which usually use that to eat animals with shells. And it also had some rounded teeth. We see leaf-shaped teeth in early ornithischians, early sauropodomorphs, and some theropods, and we usually associate them with being plant eaters or herbivorous. Kwanasaurus also had teeth in its sockets that were fused to the surrounding bone. It had an alternating pattern of tooth replacement. Just as a side fun fact, the replacement teeth were ready to go and alternating between odd and even tooth positions. And it had a short, robust upper jaw, or maxillae, compared to other Silesaurids that were more slender. Its lower jaw, the dentary though, was also robust and had a ridge on it. So it may have had a relatively powerful bite, and maybe that means it ate tougher food than most other Silesaurids, similar to how herbivorous lizards evolved more compact, powerful skulls to eat tough, fibrous plants.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Kwanasaurus might have been eating more tough, fibrous plants. Some other animals that lived around the same time and place as Kwanasaurus include the pterosauromorph Dromomeron, the Dinosaur Stenomyide, which is an armored reptile that looks kind of like a crocodile and an armadillo, as well as Coelophysids and lots of Silesaurs.
Not a lot of dinosaurs.
Yeah, you got the Coelophysids there. Well, and depending how you classify Silesaurs.
Oh, true.